I wanted to talk about. Specifically, I wanted to talk about Black Adam and how it's doing. The thing is, guys, and Shane, you can double check all of this stuff, but I'm pretty sure they spent about $200 million on this film.
Yeah.
With that being said, typically for a film like this, you spend at least half of what you spent on the budget for marketing. So if we went, maybe you could spend more, than half. But let's just say they spent half. So they've spent $300 million on this movie. So they the theaters collect a third of the revenue that the movie brings into the box office. So Shane, you said it was at 320 million or whatever, minus a third of that would be truly what Black Adam has brought in so far. And if you do that math, I'm not sure what it is, but I can tell you this: it has not made its money back. It has not even broke even yet. So my thoughts are with Black Adam's box office success is not so great, man. Not so good. Not what we wanted. Captain America, the First Avenger, and so many movies. There wasn't even a comic book era of movies when, Cap 1 came out, and that movie still was more successful. Same with Thor 1. A lot of these things that have come out are more successful than Black Adam, and it's too bad, right? Because we had a lot of high expectations with The Rock in the DC universe, and knowing Superman's coming back and going to be in it. But it's just not doing so well. People just aren't going out to see it. The critics kind of slammed this movie, right? I don't know what it is now these days, Shane, but
I'll take a look.
Yeah, it was sitting at a 40-something% the last time we checked it out. But the audience that was going to see it was enjoying it. I remember it being in the high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, it looks like it's 40% critics and 89% audience rating.
Okay. Yeah, so 49%. And what was the audience?
89.
89. So, that's a big discrepancy. So the thing is, I think if more people did go out to see this movie, they would enjoy it. But with the critics' response, again, it kind of makes it hard. I say it all the time. We live in a world now where things aren't cheap, man, and going out and spending $15 on a movie ticket and $10 on drinks and food just to be comfortable while you're there, and then having to spend 3 hours of your time there to watch that film is a lot of dedication, a lot of money, a lot of time spent. Time is money, right? And so I think it's kind of deterred people from going to see Black Adam. I think once this hits streaming, it'll have a little bit more buzz and more people will actually check it out. Curious to see where it ends up. Probably HBO Max, right? But
yeah, DC property.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it brought in, it was like 20 million. That's nothing. It's really too bad. It's disappointing numbers. And we'll roll this into the next main topic momentarily. But again, like I was saying, this week it's game week, right? So when Black Panther hits on Thursday, anybody that was maybe going to go out and see Black Adam is now probably not going to, because they're going to want to go see Wakanda Forever because it's the new hot thing that's going to be here, right? And I think that, like I was telling Shane, I said that the most disappointing thing about the Black Adam news or box office stuff is that the theaters really need this win right now. It's been a down year for the theater. Again, the biggest movie of the year, I believe, is still Top Gun Maverick. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, guys. In a year that we have 5, 6, 8 comic book films coming out that are always, tops. Again, I feel like there's some fatigue with these things. Even the Batman, as great as it was, only made $700-800 million. So yeah, a very, very interesting year in the box office. And it just needs it. It needs this win. And if Black Adam couldn't do it, we're really hoping for Wakanda Forever to do it. And if Wakanda Forever can't do it, then you gotta hope Avatar can do something. But if none of these do it, man, we're gonna look at coming into a 2023 where these theaters are really struggling again, like they were back in the pandemic times. Because again, the box office has just not been there. People are not going out, and when they're not going out to see movies, they're not buying popcorn and candy, so the theaters can't make any money. So that being said, Shane, you're hearing this information. Give us your thoughts. What are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, it's really disappointing whenever I just took a look at this and the One Piece anime movie outperformed Black Adam on Friday night. I mean, that's really sad state of affairs. Nothing against One Piece. I mean, I have two friends that are huge fans of that series.
Yeah, Matt loves One Piece.
There you go. And I knew so I know that there's a lot of fans and a hype for this coming out, but you still think Black Adam would have won. It's definitely more family friendly. It's a real, like you said, it's really sad because I'm looking through this and everything's just underperformed. The new Jurassic Park versus the old Jurassic Park,
right?
The previous Peele movie versus his movie this year.
Right.
Really the only one that outgrossed, which you're not going to believe this, the former was Thor Love and Thunder outgrossed Thor Ragnarok, if you can believe that.
Oh, yeah, it did. It crossed $1 billion, I believe, didn't it?
So, yeah, it's just, it didn't hit $1 billion for the year, but it definitely outgained the
that's
previous
crazy.
installment.
That's
super crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, it probably made more than the first Doctor Strange, didn't it?
It doesn't have that listed on here. I wish it did, but you're probably right. It made nearly $1 billion, 955.
Yeah,
so
the first one
right
made
there.
like 400.
There you go.
Yeah, so
there we go. So there's been a few success, but I think you're right. It's been a down year, not in terms of content, but just getting people to the crowd. And, I really think that Wakanda Forever will be successful. But I think that the problem with that is I don't think movie theaters or people that follow the movie industry should be too excited about that, because I feel like Wakanda Forever is more than a sequel. It's because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
It's become more of an event. We've never seen anything like this before. Nothing like this has ever happened to a series with, at a time when, there's so many films coming out that had potential appearances by Black Panther in it. I mean, not only for the Black Panther series, but before Black Panther came out, I mean, Chadwick Boseman appeared as Black Panther in like 2 or 3 other Marvel movies.
Yeah, for sure.
So
at least.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's not just the Black Panther movie that it affected. It affected all of Marvel U.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just have never seen something like this happen. So I feel like Wakanda Forever is going to be more of an event. Kind of like, the Phantom Menace or, the Last Jedi or whatever it's called. People had to wait so long that it built up more anticipation and became more of an event. I definitely see that happening with Wakanda Forever. So the sad thing is, even though that's going to be very awesome for the movie theaters, I don't think it's going to be sustained success for the movie theaters.
Well, the thing is, too, is that it's not only that we're going to see Black Panther 2, but kind of collectively, we're all going to Chadwick Boseman's funeral.
Right? Absolutely. I agree. Whether you're a fan of Black Panther or not, I mean, there's a Chadwick Boseman movie that's affected just about each and every one of us. And, so the fact that, they're going to be paying respects and tributes in a funeral-like setting within the movie, like I said last week, it's going to be cathartic. People are going to want to see this because, like you said, it's like this funeral procession. I want to pay my respects.
But like you said, it's an event because we all kind of want to share it together. No one wants to go through this alone. It's again, I promise you guys, I know I say it all the time, and it sounds like a funny joke, but man, this is going to be rough. I know for sure that I'm going to cry and bawl my eyes out through most of probably this movie. And I'm still just super excited for it. Like, I still just want to see it so bad, But yeah, I think that like I said, not only are we going to the movie, but we're kind of collectively not just going honestly to Chadwick Boseman's funeral, but to T'Challa's funeral as well. So it's kind of like this whole thing going on. Plus, there's this idea of like the whole passing of a torch to someone else too that you have to kind of implement in there too. And so yeah, I think this movie is going to be really deep, like I seen that Coogler was saying that when Boseman was alive and they were planning, when he had written Black Panther 2 before he had passed away. It was about T'Challa grieving about the 5 years he was gone during the snap. And he said the whole movie was really heavy with grief. And I bet that didn't change too much.
Oh, how could it? How could it at all?
I bet that didn't change too much. And I bet that was his wink of saying, we thought we were going to have something to grieve about then, but man, are we really full of grief now. And that this movie is going to be heavy. And we know it. You can feel it. You know, the first trailer really gave you that goosebumpy feeling of like, damn, this has happened. You know, someone's passed away, and now this whole country of people are having to deal with it, which is, it's just so compelling and tragic in itself to see. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to see it. And that's going to roll us right into...
hold on. Before we move on,
Cool.
one last thing I want to talk about, and I kind of want to talk to you about this. It just kind of came to my mind as we were discussing this whole movie theater tragedy, because this is something we've talked about for years. Movie theaters just barely surviving. And, it just kind of dawned on me that I don't know if there's another industry out there. So movie theaters are their own business. So they rent space, they power the lights, they have to pay employees, they have to, get soft drinks and food, keep that in stock, let alone the movies. Right. So you have this whole industry based on hopefully the success of a different industry. They don't control the movies that are coming out. They don't have no say. They can't sway that, hey, audiences are coming more for this, let's have more of this. It's all based on another industry, the movie, Hollywood. Right. And, and they pretty much are handcuffed to whatever they produce to hopefully builds up their success. Right. And, I know back in the 40s or 50s, movie theaters were owned by the studio. Right. And they broke that up.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
Yeah, for the better. But, I maybe we're at the point where theaters are struggling so bad that wouldn't be a bad thing to bring back. So instead of the AMCs and the Icons and stuff like that, we got the Universals and the Paramounts. Sure. And then they may be more likely to keep something in the theater.
The problem
for
with
longer.
that is that the studios know. See, about 10 years ago, Netflix looked into buying AMC or Regal, or potentially even
starting their own.
I don't know if you were around here in town when Dillon's, or when Walmart supermarkets, those little like just grocery Walmart started popping up across from all Dillon's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And it had turned out that they had like sat down with Dillon's and was like, hey, we want to buy all your Dillons and we're going to turn them into Walmart Marketplace. And Dillon's was like, no. And Walmart was like, all right, cool. Well, we'll just buy whatever's right across the street from everything you guys got and run you out of business in. And so in that same sense, Netflix looked into either, like I said, buying them or just building them right across the street and going, hey, our theater's right here, brand new, Netflix theaters. But they realized quickly that they would be hemorrhaging money like crazy, like beyond, and that the theaters themselves don't make money. No. They just don't. So they were like, yeah, why would we do something like this? And they quickly got away from that whole idea. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's really like, I watch The Office. I've been watching a lot more lately than I usually have. And it's about a paper company. And it's a dying industry, and as years go by, as more years go by, people are going to buy less paper and less paper and less paper. And the fact of the matter is that as years go by, people are going to go out to the theaters less and less and less.
Absolutely, yep. And to me, that's why it seems like it would make sense that a studio would buy it, because pretty soon there's not going to be any exhibition places to show it. And so then it's like, well, crap, if we want people to see our movie in the theater, we got to put it out ourselves.
Sure. And it makes sense for Apple or Amazon, right?
Yeah.
And I said this during the pandemic.
Even Sony, even Columbia.
During the pandemic. Well, you're right, but all of those companies don't make their money from movies.
Exactly.
So
they can afford to lose it.
They can afford to hemorrhage that little bit.
I just feel bad for these. I guess I shouldn't feel bad for AMC, right? But some of the smaller chains.
Well, you do feel bad, right? Because there's people like us, just regular dudes that just want to work, that have a job and working there for years,
and their whole livelihood
we don't want
depends
them to
on the success of another company.
We don't want those dudes to be out of a job. Yeah. We want everyone to be. Remember the love thing, right? So
I mean, if I was planning a career direction and someone told me, okay, all your money is going to be reliant on this other company making stuff and making you money, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to get into this business. It just doesn't sound lucrative. And you really got to sympathize with these theaters, because what can they do? All they can do is just put out the stuff Hollywood gives them. And they hope that
they got to hope that it's good, or that people are going to enjoy it, right?
And they're going to come out.
But what they could do is my idea, which is do more collectible stuff. Do more stuff. If you got Thor hammer popcorn buckets, make sure there's enough there for everyone to fucking buy one that wants one. How about that? They're $60. How do you run out of something that costs $60 when you're a place that can barely make money? That thing probably costs $4 to make, if that. So you had to be making plenty of money on that. So I think you gotta do some stuff like that, especially when these things become these big events. You know, like you know how Black Panther has, I don't know the culturally correct name for it, but that like moccasin type thing. You know, thing you wear. Yeah, right. Like, what if they had like those?
Is it selling dashikis?
Right, for the funeral.
Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, I'd buy one. You got me. You know. And so on and so forth. Like we talked about the popcorn buckets with Black Adam. You know, again, you gotta. I think when you're at the theaters and things aren't going well. I also have these like I've seen if I had one right here, but I have these like tiki cup mug things that they.
What were those from?
They're from Regal, and they do whatever movie comes out. They'll have like the matching. Like when Star Wars came out, they had like Chewie and Han and Luke or whatever, and you could. They're like $25 a piece, probably way overpriced.
But it got you excited.
But I bought them all.
That's right.
and every time I went, if they had one, I bought it. Just like I do with that freaking cocktail. I'm not, you know me, I'm not a big drinker, but nothing gets me kind of more relaxed and into a movie than to be drinking the cocktail that matches the movie. I don't know why. I'm a consumer like everyone else is, right? And at the end of the day, I want to consume just as much as everyone else.
It's a great idea. Collectibles are, a good idea.
Or like the thing I was telling you that I wanted to maybe get for here, where they actually put the actual film, film. What are those called?
The frame.
Yeah, like those
stock frame. Yeah,
right. Why wouldn't?
See, now that's a great idea, because that already exists. You don't have to make anything. You just cut it out and then you give it to people.
Yeah, you put it on a plaque.
I still think the problem with the collecting thing is it's still dependent on the movie being successful. It still has to be a good movie, but you have no idea if you're AMC. You're just like, let's build, 3,000 Thor cups and hoping because we'll get people, and again, it's just, you put all your faith in another person's hands, and it's not a great business model. And I can see exactly why they're failing.
Right. Yeah, for sure.